to my channel. My name is Propella and I'm an international student here in the US. I make content about my journey as an international student. I share resources and any tips I've found helpful in my journey so far so that I can aid you in your own international student journey. If you're new here, welcome. Hit that subscribe button, like, share, and comment down below in this video. So today, I just wanted to share more about what's been going on in the US, as it pertains to international students. I wanted to give sort of an update or news of what's been going on, things I've been seeing in the news as it relates to international students. Things you might want to consider if you plan to come to study in the US, especially for fall 2025 or spring 2026 or even fall 2026. These are things to know and keep in mind about what is going on in the US and how it could potentially affect you if you do come to study in the US. So right now, the climate in the US, or the atmosphere, the things in the air right now, is a lot of fear in the air right now because Trump says he's cracking down on illegal immigration. I put illegal immigration.
The largest deportation operation in US history is now underway in the United States. Just 3 days into his presidency, Trump has begun hunting down immigrants mercilessly.
But in recent times in the news, we've seen a lot of people who were also legal being affected by the crackdown. There's a lot of fear right now in the immigrant community about, what's going on, what the future holds, and what could potentially happen. So we've seen in the news, I've seen cases of students' visas being revoked due to the issue of free speech and all of that. It's a heavily political matter, but it's affecting real lives. It's affecting students, and even though it's a small percentage of students, the small percentage of students that were affected, I think it's about 6,000 students compared to a total of 1 million students in the US who are international students. It may be a small percentage, but these 6,000 students are real life students. It's the real lives that are being affected. So yeah, the atmosphere in the air is, a lot of fear, a lot of uncertainty of what the future holds, what curveballs or what new things the Trump administration could bring up again. So that's something to bear in mind if you're going to be coming to the US to study as an international student. Another thing is that visa approvals have gone down recently, especially for student visas. Visa approvals have gone down recently. Last I read, it was like 40% decline, and then now the Trump administration has announced that they are pausing student visa appointments. So they're temporarily pausing it. I don't think they're going to pause it forever, but they're temporarily pausing it because they want to look more into social media vetting. So be mindful what you post online because they're checking your socials. If you already had an appointment, I think you're still good. You can still go for your appointment. But if you are looking to get an appointment for a future date, you probably won't be able to get one at this time. And then there's another huge case going on between Harvard and the US government. Because Harvard stood up for some of its students in regards to, again, the free speech thing. And the Trump administration was like, they didn't like it, I guess. I'm not trying to be political here, but I'm just telling you what's going on. So yeah, Harvard and the US government are in a legal field over the ability to admit international students. So the Trump administration was trying to revoke Harvard's ability to admit international students. If you want to be an international student in the US, you have to apply to a school that is SCVP approved. That SCVP approval is what allows universities here to be able to admit international students. Harvard is SCVP approved, and with the legal battle and the whole squabble with the government was trying to revoke the ability to admit international students. They also wanted them to provide like a list of their international students in their school and some other information. They were asking them for some other information, but Harvard wasn't really having it. So it's been a battle, and I think we're gonna know more, I think, by next month or so. I'll have to check and write it here on the screen when the court date is gonna be, or like whatever information I find on the news, right? You may be wondering, why is that news, right? It's an important precedent, at least in my opinion anyway. It's an important precedent because if, you know, the outcome of that case will determine what the government can do more and more of in the future. You get, it sets an important precedent. It's a defining moment in history. So I think that it's a pretty important case, because if it's successful for Harvard, it will affect other universities also in the future, and that also in turn affect international students in those schools. So I think it's a pretty big case, and I think if you're not following it, you should probably follow it so that you can, you know, learn more about what's going on. And then as regards the economy, job hiring and things like that, things have been a bit slow. Companies are not really hiring as much, and a lot of international students are leaving school and not having full-time jobs. Though there are people who are still getting jobs in this economy, right? There are still people getting jobs, but in my opinion, I feel like it's harder now than it was like a couple of years back. So that's also something to bear in mind. Now, it's not impossible. I'm not saying it's impossible to like come, go to school, get a job, and, you know, the company files for you and all of that. It's by no means, it's not impossible. But I'm just saying it's a bit more difficult, and things are a little bit more difficult. So circling back to the thing about fear in the air, Trump cracking down on illegal immigration, I've seen some news now where we have like ICE on campus or near campuses looking for students that might be illegal, or students that I guess are in violation of their student status. But yeah, things are a bit murky. In California, it's even more evident, because now we are seeing members of the community coming to protest and say no to ICE and things like that. And if you don't know what ICE means, ICE is Immigration and Customs Enforcement, and they are part of the Department of Homeland Security. And basically, they enforce immigration laws, and they ensure border security, national security, public safety, all of that stuff. But they're mostly, when people think ICE, they think, you know, border security and immigration enforcement. Yeah, so like I was saying, we see a lot more ICE, especially in like border cities like California, Florida, you know, Texas, but like at the border parts of Texas, because Texas is a big state. But ICE is everywhere now, even at airports and whatnot. So people are scared and cautious about that. But yeah, things are a lot right now. But like I said, it's not impossible to still come here and thrive. It's not at all. You just have to know what you're getting into and prepare yourself. So yeah, that's what's been going on so far. I will keep you guys updated should any more information come up. And yeah, so if you like this video, if you want to learn more about what it's like being an international student in the US, please hit that subscribe button, like, comment, and share this video. I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.